Scooter. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of our Cornhole Insider podcast. It has been a while since we've done something Zoom, and it's a very special occasion. Joel here, Al Baghdadi right there. How we doing, Al?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. We're doing good, and we have not done a top 15 updated Wisconsin/UP list since the original one came out probably, I don't know, what, 7-8 months ago? Did we do that?
Yeah, I was trying to think today when that was. Probably, I don't know, May, June of last year or something like that.
Yeah. So I've had quite a few people at tournaments ask me when we're going to do another one. So here it is. This is when we're going to do another one. And we want to give a thanks to Record Boards for supporting our podcast, providing a set of boards that I think Blake has them right now. I don't know. They show up at tournaments. So they showed up at the Badgerland Bag Brawl. We've got a lot of tournaments coming up, a lot of big events coming, ACL state tournament, ACL majors in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and just had an ACO event in Beloit. So I think we're kind of seeing, Al, that ACO has kind of been here, but ACL is kind of starting to, you know, kind of
Yeah,
eat
yeah. There's
north.
also a ACL conference tournament coming to Wisconsin in March.
Yeah, yeah, and we're kind of starting to see the ACL see the popularity of people that are showing up at the regionals in Minnesota, and now they're putting an ACL region open with a pro shootout. There's one in South Dakota, one in Minnesota, one in Wisconsin. So that's pretty significant when you say there's, I don't know what, there's like 15 opens or so, and three of them are
Yeah,
right across the upper part of the Midwest. That's pretty impressive. All right, so we're gonna dig right in here. We're gonna use some technology here. You guys can bear with us as we are gonna bring you a list of the top 15 players from Wisconsin/UP, and we did the UP because you know, just kind of a fine line over there with Bob Heil and with others that are kind of in that area. So we figured it was appropriate to include the UP. So this being a part of this top 15 list, Al, comes with many prestigious, you know, prestigious things, most notably being that people will often yell the number at you when you're playing, or you're number 11 or you're number 10, and there is no prize right now. There is no trophy. It's just kind of fun to evaluate and see different players. I think Al move up into the list, which we're going to see this year.
yeah. And it's kind of funny because yelling out, I mean, getting mad at us for the top 10 or top 15 list does no good at all. What you need to do if you're not on the list is go out there and beat some people that are on the list. That's how you get on it.
Yeah, and what's taken into consideration is appearances at, Badgerland Bag Brawl, Badger State games, at some of the bigger tournaments. There's always going to be a few players out there who are really good that either we're not aware of or just, doesn't fit in their schedule to go to big tournaments. So hopefully they will, show up at some of the bigger tournaments and make a little impact and dent, and, be a part of the list. So we will do our top 15, and then we'll do our outside looking in. And we have a few changes, and you'll see right off the bat here, our number 15 player is, I think, maybe the second most up and coming player in the state of Wisconsin, Tanner Miller, who's from the down in the Point and Wausau area and plays with Golden Sands down there. And he's made a big dent, Al, in the ACO. He's beaten a lot of the top players, and we're seeing him. He's always been good. I've played against him, but I think his game is getting consistent now, where you're
Yeah,
seeing him just be consistently good.
I think he found a little something that gave him a little boost, and maybe it's just from playing more and playing against better competition that it seems like his game has really picked up.
Yep. So Tanner, pressure's on, buddy. You're in the top 15. I'm avoiding Tanner because last time I played him, he told me, he said, I've never beat you, and I couldn't believe that. And so I'm avoiding him now. I think if I play him, he's going to take me down. He's gotten that good. So Tanner slips in the top 15. Number 14 is a guy that it's just always been consistent. Dana Zorn, we saw him and his partner, I forget who he played with at the ACL Open that they were with out in Myrtle Beach. Um,
Uh, Camo he played with, I
him
believe.
and Camo made a nice run together. Camo, of course, is PDC. He's a pro technically with the ACL. But Dana's just he's consistent. He's just wherever he plays, wherever he goes, you know, he's gonna four bag you. He's gonna get you.
Yeah, very, very good defensive player, down the middle a lot. Excellent airmail. Mm.
Yeah, he's just like I said, just very consistent and one of the nicest guys you'll want to meet. And someday, Dana and I are going to team up in a tournament. So it just doesn't work out. I've asked him a few times, but it just hasn't worked out. So hopefully that will happen. And we got some young players coming up. We mentioned Tanner, one of the younger guys. And I think another one that's really making a splash. I've seen him at a couple of ACL regionals. I believe he was at the Badgerland Bag Brawl is Jaden Domes. Jaden and his dad, I believe Todd, team up. But Jaden's kind of got that roll bag in his arsenal, and he's again one of those younger players that really is just he's hard to beat. He kicked my butt in an ACL regional a few weeks ago and over in Iron Mountain. So one of those younger players, Al, again.
One of those younger players that I think spends an awful amount of time playing and practicing, that on the boards a lot. And that's how we get better.
Yep, looking for big things from Jaden. Hopefully he'll be at the Badger State games. So hopefully we'll see him there, one of the younger guys. So number 12 is a guy that anytime, whether it's Badger State, even at the Badgerland Bag Brawl, he had a deep run in there. Mr. Cookie, the Cookie Man, I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2 F's. I'm not sure. I hope that doesn't get me less cookies next time
I
I
believe
see him.
it's 2.
All right. So is Andy Graff, I believe, did he win seniors at Badger State last year or came close to it? He was
I
right
think he
there.
won last. Yeah, I think he won seniors last year.
Yeah, and always he's just so consistent. Every time you play him and wherever he shows up, he seems like he's always, in the top 4 or 5.
Yeah, there's a big group in the Cooley region there, and I mean it's been one of the top spots in this state for a long time, and I don't think there's any doubt among the players there that Andy's the best player out of that group.
Yeah. See, he was making a whole slew of cookies the other day. I don't know if he's stocking up for the Badger State games or what he's doing. But he's always got the ice cream pail full of
Maybe we
cookies.
need to see where he's playing next.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and number 11, this guy is probably giving me, since we did the first top 15 list, this guy is probably giving me the most grief of anybody about the top 15. It'll be no surprise to anybody that this guy, I say this about Frank Bartoloni, but Frank is he's becoming very consistent also. Saw him played against him at an ACL regional Mad City and even at the Badgerland Bag Brawl. Again, he's one of those players that seems like every time he shows up at a big tournament, he's always there when it gets down to the last 5 to 10 players.
I think having the explosion in the Madison area of Cornhole now has given Frank places to play more and practice the game more, and I think it's upped his game.
Yeah, him and his wife have a newborn baby. Congratulations to them. So maybe for the rest of us, that means he'll play less bags so we can beat him now. So he's he's really gotten good though. So Frank slips in at number 11. So number 10 is I got to be careful now because if I say this wrong, he's going to give it to me next time I see him. But Mr. Bush himself, Mr. Wayne Rowell, maybe the grizzled veteran of all of the players in the Wisconsin UP cornhole scene. Of course, has played in the ACO for years. Him and Maggie, of course, were kind of the originators of making the big scene in Vegas. It was in co-eds when they almost won it several years back. But Wayne again, always very consistent, and will four bag you to death. And he's you know what you're going to get with Wayne. You better be ready to crank up a 9.5 PPR or more, otherwise he's going to get you.
Yeah, Wayne's always been consistent, and you better be ready to play when you step up to the boards next to him because he's going to bring it every time.
Yep. So Wayne Rowe comes in at number 9 or number 10 rather. Bush and number 9 is we talk about the young guys coming up. And we had a discussion about this guy a few weeks ago about who we thought maybe had best possibility of being the next ACL pro in the state of Wisconsin. And we got to see him last weekend right here in Park Falls. Mr. Quinn Reeves, his game has elevated real quick, Al.
Yeah, Quinn. I mean, I have to admit, 8 months ago, I never heard of Quinn Reeves. And now he's number 9 on the list, and he's got the whole toolbox there. He's got the roll shot, cut shot, airmail, push game. I mean, he's got it all, and it seems like he has the desire to get better, and that's going to take him a long way.
Yeah, and he's still kind of transitioning into playing in these big tournaments. He's getting more and more under his belt, getting better and better. And him and JD are a real tough doubles team. And he's kind of, working his way through some singles stuff. But I see him being, moving up even higher as we get into the next few years. So,
A
Quinn,
perfect example of working hard at the game is Saturday after the tournament, and you and me and Blake and Quinn had a 2-hour ride home, but he stayed for 3 hours afterwards just to throw bags with us for a while.
yep, we let the two boys pound on us a little bit.
Yes, we did.
We had a good time though. It's fun playing against them. So Quinn Reeves comes in at number 8. And number 8, she has been the best women's player in the state of Wisconsin, well, forever, since she started playing. And she continues. She's playing at a major in Bradenton, Florida this weekend. And I think when Worlds rolls around for ACL, we'll see her. She's not playing as much as she used to with a newborn and family, but you give her a couple hours of practice, and she's still one of the tops in the state now.
Yeah, Maggie's always just consistently down the middle, and I've known her for quite a while, and she's it always amazes me how little she throws. You go to tournaments and you see people up at the boards all the time throwing, and Maggie just sits there and waits for her next game and does her down and back, and then wins. That's just how she is.
Yeah, yeah. We look forward for big things from
I
Maggie.
I, I mean, I kind of miss that. I don't know that I've seen her at anything other than ACO events probably in the last year and a half or something like that. Where it'd be nice to see her play something where see how she compares against the rest of the top 10 list.
Yep. Yeah. Kids will get a little older. We'll see her around more, I'm sure, so that we look something to look forward to. Number 7, this guy going to win the award for the most mispronounced last name of anybody probably in the state of Wisconsin. JD Scharenbeck. You can say it however you want. We'll just call him JD. His game's become real solid too. Single. So I last saw him at Rochester, Minnesota, an ACL regional, and he threw really well. And he's kind of dedicated himself to practicing a lot, getting time in, and he's got all those tools too. He's not quite as young as Quinn and Tanner and those guys, but he's still one of the younger guys.
Yeah, 2-time Badger State singles champion.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see here. He's got a baby coming in February, so we'll see how if that reduces his time on the boards or not after the baby's here.
Or get some more practice time at home, one of the two. So
Yeah.
yeah. So well done, JD. Always fun to be at a tournament with JD, and never fun to play him. But all right, top 6 now we're into, and this as we get into the top 6 here, we get into an area where we're talking about a bunch of pros here now. And I'll tell you, a lot of them are interchangeable, but we kind of looked at things that they have done in the last year. And so we're going to put at number 6, Mr. Jared Kufis, who had some good recent runs out in Myrtle Beach. And I've had a chance to play with him in a quad event at a conference down in Illinois. Just a really nice a young player. He's got that roll shot. He's got a little bit of everything. And I tell you, when he's on, he's as good as anybody in the world. I mean, he is that good, and I think we can look for big things from him.
Yeah, Jared's, he works hard at what he does, and he just keeps getting better and better all the time. I mean, I noticed, I don't know when, sometime over the summer, that it seemed to me that he completely kind of rebuilt his shot from what it once was. He used to have a long backswing, and now he kind of throws from his hip more than what it used to be. So he had to put a lot of time in to rebuild his throw.
one of my favorite young men to hang around at tournaments and just talk. Just a good sense of humor too, and has a good grasp on not only playing the game but having fun with it too. So Jared comes in at number 6, number 5, and again, these top fivers were so hard, and it's tough to put a guy like Dan Walker Jr. at number 5, but becoming an ACL pro now, and him and Tom Walter teaming up on the doubles side. And, Dan, we're going to be seeing him playing all over the country this coming year. And just, again, I consider Dan strategy. I think he's the best fourth bag player, definitely in the state of Wisconsin, where he'll set you up and he'll knock you down real quick with a fourth bag just when you think you got him. He's a good strategy and a good fourth bag player.
And he's a great ambassador of the game.
Yeah.
He's really a encouraging to young players. He's just all around nice guy.
Yep, Dan and Penny and that whole group over there, that was that SUP group, that SUP group over there. So it's always a pleasure to have Dan. We had him over for the first time in Park Falls playing in the last week, and it was certainly a pleasure. So Dan Walker Jr. comes in at number 5, and again, these top 5, 5 of these top 6 interchangeable. Number 4 is I'll let you talk because I'm a little bit biased. So
Blake Karnick. Blake has done so much in the last year. His game has improved so much, and it continues to improve. He's got the whole arsenal: the airmail, the roll shots, the cut shots, and he keeps working and working and working. I had the opportunity to throw with him quite a bit over Christmas break here, and just the precision on the placement of his shots all the time now, just the little subtleties of the game that I think he's just going to keep continue to improve.
Yeah, and only thing I'll say is that he's not just satisfied being a pro. He has big dreams. He's practicing a lot, and he's got his goals set high, which as a dad drives me crazy sometimes to see him go through some of the pain. But he's got high standards, so he's looking forward to a fun year of traveling as an ACL pro. So top 3 now. Here we go. This guy, he had a nice run out at Myrtle Beach too, and I think his game has really come along. He slowed his game down, put the bags on the board, really analyzes each bag, and I think since Trevor has done that, he's become one of those really smart players, and just tough. He's improved his game.
He's really so calm at the boards all the time. He kind of keeps everything in check, and that doesn't, if things get to him, you don't see it on the outside, and I think that's important.
I'll just play quads with him and he'll get real excited when I'm on the other side of the quad and I can't find the board. So he gets no, he was very patient with me. So Trevor comes in at number 3, and Trevor and Jared, of course, will team up this year. It's going to be fun to watch Kufus, not only watch them, but travel and be at events with them at the ACL. And number 2 is Mr. ACO senior. He is just sweeping through the seniors division and doing well in singles also with high finishes is Bob Heil. And again, I mean, what can you say about Bob? His game is just elevated to another level. He just doesn't seem to have bad days on the boards.
No, Bob's very, very consistent. He's a slide it in, push, airmail guy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him win an ACO World Championship in seniors this year. I would guess right now he's probably the favorite for that, but he's got it all, and I think he works pretty hard at what he's doing. We don't see him practice, but I know he has to be all the time.
He's like Rocky, he's in that where Rocky went to the outback of Russia and ran through snowdrifts and stuff. I think up there in Wakefield, Bessemer, I think he's up there throwing cornhole bags in the drifts and training.
He's probably bulking up, shoveling snow all the time.
That's right. Bob will tell you he's bulking up, and maybe it ain't from that, huh? All right. So Bob comes in at number 2. It's always fun to play with Bob and to see him at events. And number 1 is not a surprise to
Randy Clemens,
to anybody. Yeah, Bubba. Well, no. I've been hacked here. Mr. Steve Schrader. He is he's been, I think, up at that number 1 spot. And the first time we did it, and has dedicated himself to cornhole now. He works a little bit other than cornhole, but he's really dedicated himself this year to see how good he can be. And again, not only a great player, but a great ambassador to the game, like you said with Dan Walker Jr. too.
Yeah, Steve's just the all around nice guy. He's a great player. He's very, very competitive, and yet he's also very gracious when you play against him, you know. And it's a not easy for people to have that mix.
Yeah, he's always willing at tournaments to talk with the players who are just starting or lesser skilled players and give them tips. And you're right, he's just always an ambassador to the game and highly competitive, and I think deserving of that number one spot, number one player in this.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody can knock him off from that number one spot in the state, you know.
Well, most of these will be at the Badger State Games coming up the third weekend of February, so it's going to be fun to see how the rankings play out with how that finishes in singles, doubles, and in seniors. So our OLI, our outside looking in, Al, this guy, it was really hard to keep him out of the top 10, Jose. He hasn't been playing as much recently. Last time I talked to him, he said he has plans down the line to really dedicate himself to the game, but we have to give him recognition because Jose easily could be in the top 15.
Yeah, him and he's a reigning state doubles champion along with Dana Zorn, you know, so he's got the game for it.
Yep. And some of the other players that we want to recognize that are really, I think, top players who are going to be making pushes in the next year is one of the Mad City Cornhole, Aaron Washa. Aaron has moments where he is just so top. His game is at the top, and him along with Adam Deere from down in that area. Of course, he was a pro about a couple years ago, and Adam's kind of refocused and dedicated himself to the game, and he's had some good moments too in big tournaments in the last year.
Yeah, Adams, he's been playing the game for quite a while, and I think with the popularity of the game, he's getting opportunities to play a lot close to home, and just he's got it all.
Yeah. A few other ones from around the area. And again, we'll miss a few local ones, I'm sure. And you guys can go in the comment field and give recognition to people in your local groups that you think should be in there. But I think I'm just going to put TRZ because to spell Tim Tribatuski's name is just there's just too much going on there. But he's all whenever he showed up at Badger State games last year, he was right there in the finals. Was it the finals or the top four? I think it was.
I think he was second in singles.
Yeah, and Tim is
I believe he
always.
knocked Maggie off.
Yep, he's always there. He's a busy guy with his own business that he's running and stuff. But anytime Tim shows up at a tournament, you're gonna get. he's just one of those consistent players.
Yeah.
All right, and a couple. I just want to mention a couple other ones because there's some local out of the Rhinelander group. I think I have a chance to play with Ryan Miller quite a bit, and he's a former pro dart player, and he's gotten to be really solid. And he's dedicated himself to cornhole, and I think he's going to be somebody to watch here also in the next year. And him and I are going to be partnering in a couple of things, so he better have his game up because carry my butt.
He needs to carry you, right?
Carry my butt to the finish line. But it's just so great. We have other groups, like the Rhinelander group. We've got the defending junior state champion Logan Miller out of that Rhinelander group. He won juniors last year. And you look at, our group, our North Wisconsin Cornhole group, you got guys like Money Mike, Mike Hybrecht. We mentioned Randy, Bubblicious, even yourself and myself. I mean, we've seen from just the fact that we're playing against good players a lot, and it's easier to find good competition. I think all of our games are just getting better, Al.
I was just thinking today that you and I went to Hayward last night and played a switch holio there, and they've only been active for a year over in Hayward playing, and in the qualifying portion of it, I think I threw at 8.14, and I was number 8 on the list ranked by PPR. So there was 7 people that had a PPR above 8 that were above me yet, and several of them above 9. So it's really good to see how good people have gotten over there in a short amount of time.
Scott Verbeck has grown that group really fast. We're going to see players like Shannon and Tren over there, and Larry Sari, and the young Viper sniper. We're going to see some of those guys making a dent, I think.
Josh Kaminsky he's been the high PPR over there, but I'm not sure if he's in Wisconsin or if he's across the border in Duluth there. He's from the Superior Duluth area up there.
Sure. And you got the Jefferson County Cornhole group and the Renegade Baggers, of course, Mad City Cornhole. They're getting 80, 90 people down there for their poolies on Monday night. So it's just fun to see the sport grow. And I guess, Al, all we can say to people, is if you want to be on the list and you want to get mentioned, you know, go to some of the bigger tournaments, because that's, I'm at most of them. I very rarely miss the big state tournaments and the Ho Chunk state events and stuff like that. So, go there, make a little dent, and if you
Make
want
a
to
little noise.
make a little noise, and again, being in the top 15, that and $5 will get you a dozen eggs. That's about it. That's about all you get from it, and a lot of grief throughout the season too. I'm gonna get messages from, see, 1, 2, 3 of these people already about 5 minutes after the show is posted. So, but it's pretty cool just to
Is one of
see.
them your son?
It very well could be. But it's, Al, we talk about this a lot when we do car rides places, just the growth of the sport. When you just look back 2 years or 3 years, we were talking about our local tournament, how it was uh, just compared to what is going on now compared to local tournaments 2, 3 years ago. It's just amazing how it just continues to grow.
Yeah, yeah. There's just, I mean, you can go anywhere in the state, pretty much any night of the week, and find some place to play now.
Yep. All right, Al. Well, thanks for joining us, folks. Be sure to keep your eye to the Northern Wisconsin Cornhole Facebook page, because big news about the Restore You Classic, Al, that debuted last year with that $1,000 first place. And it's going to
We
be
do
fun.
it. We have a date,
Yeah.
June 9th and June 10th, but rest of the details to follow yet.
All right. So stay tuned for that. It was a huge event last year, and we look forward to another big one this year. We thank you for tuning in, Al. Thanks for being a part. It's been like a long time. We got to do this more often. Okay.
Yeah, it has been a while.
All right, Al. We'll talk to you soon.
See
Thank
you,
you,
Joel.
everyone, for tuning in to another edition. Check out all the instructional videos on the Northern Wisconsin Cornhole YouTube page, where we got one of our videos approaching 20,000 views now. It's been pretty cool to see that grow. So we'll talk to everybody again real soon.